Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. I'm so excited to be filming today. Today is my favorite video of the month. We're gonna dig into my monthly makeup routine and try out and review every single product that I picked out at the beginning of this month. And of course, as we go along, I'm going to tell you which products I'm going to keep and which ones I'm going to declutter. So as we move forth and I create this makeup look, I cannot guarantee you that my face is going to match at all, but I can guarantee you that we're going to have some fun today. So this is typically a much longer video than my normal stuff, so I'm just going to move right into things and talk about the skincare, my pre-makeup skincare that I've been using all month long. So this skincare routine is specific to my makeup, so I only apply this stuff right when I put on my makeup. So the eye cream that I've been using is the same as last month. This is from Kate Somerville and is her retinol firming eye cream. And when I apply this, I just kind of put some on my eye and rub it in with this little top on here. And this is so nice. I've been loving this. I'm about halfway through with it, so I'm going to continue using this. The next thing I take is this LYS serum, and this is called their Think Bright Glow and Hydrate Serum. And you can see how much I've been using. And this is just all right. I would prefer if it had a nice fragrance to it, but this is just kind of bland and I don't really notice any specific sort of glow with it. It's just all right. I'm just going to use it up. I would probably never repurchase this. Now this is new. I did end up using up that Kat Berkey moisturizer, so I did just pull this one from It Cosmetics, and this is the Confidence in a Cream, and this is phenomenal, guys. So I'm very excited to be continuing using this. I did only use this about 3 times so far, and all those 3 times I've really enjoyed it. So love this. And my last step of the routine is a facial oil, and I did end up using that little bottle from Biossance, and so I moved on to this one from Lumine. So what's really cool about this oil is they use Nordic specific ingredients, and I don't have anything like this in my collection, and it has a very specific smell, and I just enjoy the heck out of this. It doesn't make my face too overly greasy. It just sinks right in, and it just gives me that beautiful pre-makeup glow that I'm always looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and pin up my hair, and then we'll get started with our base. So you guys can see I have something right here. This is really bad. I'm not sure what it is. I have a dermatologist appointment for it, and it's just really scaring me because it's not like anything I've ever had on my face before. So hopefully we get this figured out, and just hope all goes well because I'm really kind of scared about it. Now for our all-over base primer, we're going to take this one by Makeup Revolution. And the name kind of wiped off from it, but I think it's called their Cloud Burst Priming Serum. So what's really cool about this one is it has a clear base to it, but it has all sorts of color brightening pearls on the inside. So as you pump it through the dispenser into your hand, the pearls break, and it just gives you this beautiful shimmery glow onto your skin, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna apply maybe like 6 pumps into my hand for about this much, and I just run it between both hands and apply it to my whole face. There's no scent to this or anything, and it sinks in nicely, and you can't see any individual glitters on your face. It's just a kind of a glow from within kind of thing. I don't think they sell this for retail anymore, but you can still get this on the market. It's a really nice product, and I'm going to be keeping this. So I think I forgot to mention this in the introduction, but we are going up full glam today. So I'm going to be doing all steps of makeup. I'm not going to be skipping anything because I want to show you how each product that I chose this month performs. So normally when I do my makeup, I probably won't go through each step in this routine, but we're going to be doing every single step today. So the next thing I'm going to take is from Beauty Blender, and it's called the Leveler Pore Minimizing Primer. So how you use this is you unscrew the cap, and it comes in this squeezy tube. And I'll tell you that this has annoyed the crap out of me all month because when you try to squeeze some into your hand, it is so difficult to get out of this container. So I'm going to squeeze quite a bit into the palm of my hand, probably about this much. And then I'm just taking some and putting it in my T-zone and my most porous areas onto my face. So I'm just patting all this in. I'm not rubbing it. I'm just going to pat it. And the reason why I wanted this primer in the first place is because I had a little sample of it, and the sample came in a squeeze tube, but it was a normal squeeze tube that was very easy to use. And I actually really enjoy the formula of this primer. I find it fills in the pores on a very nice level, and it works well under foundation and everything. I have no actual qualms with the product, but the packaging is enough to make me not want to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this primer. And lastly, for the base, a lip gloss I chose this month is from ColourPop, and this is their So Juicy Lip Plumping Gloss. So mine's kind of like a pink coral shade with bright pink coral sparkles inside, and I love this gloss so much. I will never get rid of this gloss. If you've never tried one of these before, they're a very, very thick gloss. I really like how it fills in all my lip lines and just gives my lips that really blown out, juicy effect. But you can feel the plumping effects of this. It doesn't really last long, but the actual gloss is kind of sticky. So the gloss lasts a while, but the plumping feeling doesn't. So I am most definitely going to keep this in my collection because this is something that I always revert back to when I need something to actually look good on my lips. Now we're ready to move into the complexion part of this video, and I am so excited to talk about this Revlon Airbrush Effect foundation. And I know, Sherry, if you're watching this, I know you're excited to hear about this too, and I do have quite a bit to say about this. Now, yes, this foundation is still available on the mass market. It's kind of a bit difficult to track down, but it is still available. And I don't know what I would do if it wasn't available anymore because I do indeed love this stuff. I will say before you run out and buy this, this does have visible chunks of glitter in it. And that is one of the reasons why I absolutely adore it. You can't really see the glitters while looking at it through the bottle, but as you have it applied onto your face, they are very apparent, and I think it just looks absolutely beautiful. It does come with this really nice pump dispenser, so you can apply the exact amount you need without wasting any product. I've also applied this foundation with my hands, with a brush, and with a sponge, and I liked applying it every single way. The way I'm going to apply it today is with a very large fluffy brush. I think you get a really flawless look with this if you apply a little foundation with a very airy brush. So as you can see on my face, we got a bunch of stuff to cover, so I'm going to show you how awesome this foundation is. So I'm taking my palm of my hand again, and I used up quite a bit of this, so I don't have very much left. But I'm going to put about that much in my hand, and I'm taking this brush, and I'm just going to dip it in a little bit like that. And then I'm kind of just buffing it out on the palm of my hand so I don't have too much built up on my brush. And then I'm just going to start stamping it onto my face. So once I get it applied like that, then I go ahead and start blending it out, bring it up into my ears so we get some nice uniformity here. But I find that this foundation blends well, it covers well, and it wears well. So I'm gonna get some more foundation and work on my right side forehead right here. And then I'm gonna show you a comparison between both sides of my face. Okay, so here's the side that the foundation is on. Here's the side that I didn't put any on yet. So you can see I get about a medium coverage level with this, which is my most perfect coverage level. I just really enjoy a medium. I get a natural finish out of this, and it wears just like this all day long without any breakup or going into any of my fine lines, which I do have quite a few. I'm kind of getting old here. So the shade I have in this foundation is called number 3 Shell, and it is not my best foundation match, but I can get it to work for me. And considering this isn't the easiest foundation to get, I will settle for 03 Shell. So I'm going to go ahead and finish applying this to my face so we can move on to the next product. So I just put a bunch of foundation on over my problem area, my chin. So I'm just going to see if that can do me any favors down here. Okay guys, so here's the full face of foundation applied, and you can't see any brilliant sparkles coming off of my face, but when I look up close, they're definitely there, and I personally like that. But if you do not like any sort of glitter or sparkles on your face, stay far away from this foundation. But I'm personally going to keep this in my collection because this is something I know I can count on, I know wears well, and I know looks really good applied on my face. The next step I do is concealer typically, so we're going to take this one from Veil Cosmetics, and this is actually their corrector, concealer, and highlighter all in one. So the way you use this product is you would twist up the bottom, and it kind of scoots out the top right here, and it comes with a built-in brush, so you would just twist it and apply it kind of like that. Now, usually when I apply concealer, I kind of use a pretty full coverage one, so I typically just apply a dot and then blend it out with my brush. But since this is kind of a more sheer light coverage product, I've been applying a little bit more than usual. And the way I've been doing it is kind of going here, here, and here. One out here, like that. And then I'll just take my brush and just blend this out. You can see the sheerness level of it when I kind of work it into my skin here. But it does blend into the skin very beautifully. I don't see any lines with it, and it does a very, very nice job of doing everything that it claims it does. Now, Veil Cosmetics is a makeup artist's own brand, and they are a prestige cosmetics brand, and I do have quite a few of their products, and I've actually really thoroughly enjoyed every single one that I've tried. Now, personally, when I look at how this concealer looks compared to this eye, I just love the effects of it. However, this packaging is kind of like the YSL concealer, the new e.l.f. brightening concealer. I don't like this method of application. But then, you know, all month long I've been using this. I was wondering, is this method of application really enough annoyance to me that I'm going to declutter this? And the answer to that is no. I think I can get around the method and continue using this in a way where I would be happy. But, I mean, this concealer is very, very nice. I just don't like the little twisty brush thing. Another thing I want to point out with this is due to the nature of its formula, it does not make a very good spot concealer. So this is strictly for the under eye area for exactly what it says, correcting any dark circles, adding some much needed brightness, or just simply concealing any kind of redness or anything that you just need to conceal. So yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this and I want to keep this in my collection still. So the next thing I usually do is go in with some powder, but I do have a few cream products that I want to go in with before we commence the powder. So for creams, I have a bronzing stick, a liquid blush, and then some liquid highlighting drops. And for the bronzer, it's from Illamasqua, and this is their gel sculpt stick. So I've already pulled this for a monthly makeup routine in the past, and I guess it's kind of soon to pull it for another monthly makeup routine, but I just wanted to play with it again. I don't have very many cream bronzers, so I'm kind of limited to what I have to choose from. So what's weird about this stick is it applies almost like a contouring shade, but it blends out like a bronzing shade. So you have to be kind of really careful where you apply it and how you apply it. So I'm applying it more like I would a cream bronzer than a contour. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this out. Okay guys, like you just saw, I had applied this bronzing contour stick to my face, and this is the problem I've been having with it all month long. It was not blending out right at all. It was lifting up my foundation and it was just kind of sticking in one place. And it hurts me so bad because I want to love this so hard, but it has not worked for me all month long. It's not working for me now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try one more time with this right now. I'm going to go ahead and apply some more foundation right here. We're going to apply it and we're going to leave it exactly how it looks. If it ends up just not working for me at all again, we're going to go ahead and just be done with this and declutter it. But if I could get this to work for me, I'm going to keep it since I don't own a lot of cream bronzers. I do kind of need to keep them so I have something in my collection. And something else to be very mindful about this is that it does have a scent and it smells very heavily of artificial rose. Applying it to your cheek and forehead and stuff, you can't really smell it, but when you hold it up to your nose, it's definitely very apparent. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do this maybe a little bit lighter. This isn't normally how I would apply bronzer, and it feels like it's dragging quite a bit. And now we're going to go ahead and try to blend this out. It's still sticking, it's not blending. This is really unfortunate, actually. I usually don't have this many issues with a stick bronzer or cream bronzer or anything, but here you see very harsh lines, patchiness. It doesn't look right. So never mind how this looks, we're just gonna go ahead, apply this to the rest of my face and be on our way. Okay, so for the Illamasqua stick bronzer, we tried it. We took off our foundation, we tried it again, and I just cannot get this to fully blend out like I would like a bronzer to do, and it looks patchy and it lifts up my product. So this is going bye-bye. Our next step is cream blush, and I have one of these Cheek Kiss liquid blushes in the shade Nude Flush. So as you know, I've been using this all month long, and I kind of like it and I kind of don't. I like the formula of these, so I would be very tempted to buy one in a different shade. But this shade is very, very difficult to get to show up on my skin. The way that I like to wear this one best is when I have no makeup on at all and just apply just a little bit to my highest point of my cheekbones and kind of blend it out that way. But when I have kind of a full face of makeup on, this is very, very difficult to get to show up. So when you take this pretty gold cap off, you have just a normal long nozzle squeeze tube. I'm just going to be brave and apply some right to my cheek. This is a very nice and easy formula to work with. It is quite sheer, so, you know, you could either build it up. It's not really anything to be afraid of, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to take my brush and just get this blended out. See how easy that blends out? It's very, very easy to work with. So I guess you can kind of see it, but it doesn't show up like a blush that I prefer. And once I go ahead and powder this down, it'll be completely invisible anyway. But if you just saw how beautiful this formula is, I would definitely consider a different shade of this. So all I do is take my brush and just bear down on it, bring it up to my hairline, and that's it. And it just kind of does the work on its own. Very, very simple to use. And I can't say the same thing about a lot of other liquid blushes because some of them are kind of hard to use, but this one is very nice and pleasant. However, I will be decluttering this nude flush shade from my collection and perhaps purchasing another one that I feel would match me a bit better. Now, the last set for cream products is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is called their Liquid Glow Face Highlighter. And I got mine in the shade Perla. So much like the Milani liquid blush, you get the same kind of tube with that long nozzle right here. However, this liquid highlighter is mega powerful, so I don't like to go directly into my cheek with this. I just put this one into the palm of my hand. You just need the tiniest amount with this. This huge tube of this is going to last you forever. So I'm just going to take a little spotlighting angled brush and do what I kind of did with the foundation, go in halfway, kind of buff it out, and just put this right where I generally highlight at. I've used this quite a bit this month, and I really preferred it when I had no full glam on, when I could just really amp up my natural glow. I thought it looked really, really pretty that way. But again, this is another product that once you put setting powder over the top of it, it kind of just covers it up and you can't really see it anymore. But do keep in mind, this is a multifunctional product. You can use it on your collarbones, on your chest. You can put this in your eyebrows. You can do anything with this. It's very, very nice. So you can see that beautiful glow on my cheek, and that is strictly from the highlighter. This liquid highlighter also fully dries down without being sticky, so your hair is not going to clog into it and annoy you or anything like that. So I am going to keep this in my collection and continue using this. And like I said, this bottle is going to last me forever. So here's one final look before we move on and set the phase of how all the cream products I've used this month look. I personally don't think it looks bad, but I also tried much better. So moving on, we're going to go ahead and set the entire face with this loose setting powder from Lorac. I do have mine in the shade Vanilla. Now, this is a setting powder with a plastic sifter in here, and something that I've noticed throughout the month is that not a lot of powder comes through the top. Even if you turn it upside down, kind of tap it, you're going to get very minimal product in here. So I'm just going to take a very large fluffy powder brush, dip it straight into the powder since not a lot comes through. And I'm just setting everything down so we have a nice barrier to apply some powdered products now. Now, as for this powder, I found it just about average. I personally wouldn't go out of my way to purchase this again, but it is good enough where I would use up this whole jar. I've personally tried better powders, even so from the drugstore, that I just like a little bit more, that do more for my skin and my entire makeup look. But the actual functionality of this powder isn't bad at all, and I think if you got it, you wouldn't be disappointed in it. So now we're going to have some fun and dip into all the powder products. I'm going to do half of my face one set and then half of my face the other set. So like I said, we're not going to match today, but who cares, right? The first thing I'm going to go ahead and talk about is from LA Colors, and this is their matte bronzer. Now, quite a while ago when I did a Dollar Tree testing new makeup, I reviewed their normal bronzer, which is pretty much just a bronze highlight. And I love a good shimmer bronzer, but that one was just overdone in my opinion. So when I saw that they came out with a matte bronzer, I was elated. So having the opportunity to play with this all month, I don't want to stop using this. This is like my favorite tone of bronzer that I've ever used. It's perfect for my skin tone, and I love the formula of this. It just works so, so beautifully. So when you dig your brush into the pan, you don't get a lot of kick up. It's a very smooth formula, and I just apply it ever so lightly, and it just goes on, no hesitation. I'm actually sad that I have to put this bronzer back in my collection because I don't want to. This bronzer only costs $1.25 at Dollar Tree. I did find it for sale online, but it's kind of expensive online. So if you're going to get it, definitely go check at Dollar Tree and you will not be disappointed in this formula. It's very easy to use and it is so good. So here's the bronzer applied to my face. I think it looks fabulous. The only bad thing I guess I could say about this bronzer is the actual pressing of this is quite thin. So I would assume if you use a lot of bronzer like I do, you would go through this kind of fast. And since the bronzer is pressed quite thin and the packaging is quite thin, if you brought this with you on vacation or something, I would fear that this would very easily break. No doubt am I going to keep this in my collection, and I also highly recommend this. For the blush on the right side of the face, we're going to take this buildable blush from Manna Kadar, and this is in the shade Bali Babe. Now, if you want a comparison to this, I would say kind of like the original NARS Orgasm, where you have that kind of corally peachy pink with that golden sheen to it. However, if you ask me, I kind of like this blush from Manna Kadar better than the NARS one. I own the NARS one, so I can definitely tell you that. This formula is, like its title says, very buildable, which I do appreciate. and it also blends like a champ. I don't think there's a person out there that could put this on their face and mess it up. I think it is so user-friendly that it has quickly become one of my most favorite blushes in my entire collection. And here's how this blush looks like blended out, and I barely even tried on that. It just did all the work itself, and for that, I'm definitely going to be keeping this. Next, for the right side highlighter, we're taking this big one by Beauty by Pop Sugar, which is no longer a brand as far as I'm aware. And we're going to mix both of these shades together and apply it to this cheekbone right here. Now, when I first got this for this month, I was not very excited about it because it just seems kind of boring. But the day that I first applied this to my cheeks, I realized I made a very big mistake. I think this highlighter looks really good when I apply it to my entire face, like when I'm just doing my normal makeup look. It doesn't look like a typical heavy powder, and by that I mean it doesn't weigh your makeup down at all. It looks like it's coming from your skin, and that I really do like about this. So here's the glow that you're going to get with this highlighter. It's not in your face, it's just very subtle, and since I don't own very many subtle highlighters, I'm going to hang on to this. Now, to finish up this left side of the face, we're going to be using this e.l.f. Duo Face Palette. So inside this palette, you're going to get a blush and you get a highlighter. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this blush in the same manner that I did over here, but just to the side of my face this time. I think these little face duo palettes only cost $3 or $4. And, you know, since I've been using it this month, I can tell you that it is certainly not the best formula. I've struggled trying to blend this a little bit. It doesn't blend as easy as the Manna Kadar blush, but I do get some payoff from it. I do eventually get it to blend out. And I think if you're looking for something like a certain color to add to your collection, I think these are just fine. So since this highlighter is kind of dark for me, I'm going to take a very fluffy brush just so I get the sparkles from it. And I'm just going to apply that to my cheekbones. So here's the blush and highlight that you're going to get from this face duo, which is called Spice Apple. Now, in my opinion, this side looks heavier than this side does over here. I think this side looks more flawless, and this side just looks more applied. So let me know which side you guys like better in the comments. Do you like the pink side, or do you like the peach side? But I'm going to go ahead and keep this around in my collection. I do like it, and I do think it's worth the $3 price tag. And lastly, we're going to set this face with some hydrating face mist, once again from Manna Kadar. Now, when I first got this month, it was brand new, so I did use up quite a bit this month because, let me tell you, I have fallen in love with this stuff. I think when I run out of this, I would repurchase this again. Now, this is supposed to just be a hydrating spray, so you can use it before your makeup, throughout the entire day, whenever you feel you just need a refresh, or you can use it after your makeup. So today, we're going to use it after our makeup to kind of just get the powder set in place. Now, this has a very heavy scent to it, and it smells just like jasmine. So if you don't like florals, if you don't like scented products at all, stay far away from this. But I just love everything about this. I prefer scented products, so that makes me really happy. I think the spray on here is perfect. And I could actually feel this settling on my skin and pulling it taut. And I absolutely love a spray where I can feel it working. So this is staying with me, and I'm going to love continuing to use this. All right, guys, I pulled you closer because it is time to get into brows. So what we have here are 3 brow products, some drugstore, some high-end, some mid-end even. So let's get into that. The first thing I'm going to show you is something that I have found to be incredibly awesome over the past month. This is from Makeup Revolution. It's called the Balayage Brow. Now, at first when I got this, I wasn't too keen on this brush just being out in the open, just without any cover on it, you know, just to gather all the dirt and grime and dust and everything. But I've since gotten used to it and realized that they couldn't put the brush anywhere else because this is a 2-sided pencil. So on one side, you get more of a definer type pencil, and on the other side, you get a micro tip pencil. So something else really cool about this is that the micro tip pencil is warm toned, and the definer side pencil is cool toned. So you can have a really unique looking eyebrow when you're all said and done with it, and I have really liked it this month. So I've actually really liked this brush that comes with it. What I've really liked doing is spraying some hairspray on here and then just fluffing up my brows with some hairspray, and I have found that worked wonders. But since we have other products to use today, we're just gonna use this brush to get any powder out and fluff up the brows a little bit. So firstly, we're jumping into the thicker definer side. So we're outlining the back half of the eyebrow. So like I said, this is the cool tone side. So we're going to have a warm brow going into the cool tone. Now I'm taking that micro tip pencil and I'm going to go ahead and underline the front half of my brow and blend it in with the cool tones when I meet in the middle. So I'm just going to start right here. And since I got a couple shades darker than when I normally go, I don't have to push heavily. And I really like this color. It's just a nice formula in general. I don't know why people aren't talking about this. This is a fantastic product. So I'm just blending it when I meet in the middle right there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And that's all we're going to do with this today since we have other products. But I am actually sad to be putting this up because I've had such a great time with this. And when I run out of this brow pencil, you're dang right, I'm going to go ahead and buy this one again because I just love this. So next up, we're going to take something from Chella Beauty. And I discovered this brand through Ipsy. But I have bought stuff with my own money because I have loved all their stuff so freaking much. So this is called their Luscious Eyebrow Cream. And I got mine in the shade light brown. So on one side, you have a brush. And I do think Benefit has something like this where you get the brush and then the little jar of pomade and it's all connected in one unit. But the brush on this little thing is superb. So you can do your entire brow with this if you want. But what I really like to do is flip this brush upside down and do brow hairs in the front of my brow to do the ombre look. So you get quite a bit of product in here. So I just load up my brush, wipe it off on the side of the jar, and then start on that underline part. And then I just make upward strokes in the front of my brow. And I don't press too hard because I don't want a ton of pigment coming off. But I kind of drag it out a little bit so it doesn't look so odd. But I think this product is perfect for that. And I think it looks pretty natural too. So I've been really enjoying using this over the entire month. I think I did pick this up at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. So you can find their brand, you know, at retail stores if you look hard enough. And I will be keeping this as well to keep my Chella Beauty collection going. And the last thing for the brows is from Benefit, and they're known for all their brow stuff. And this is called their Gimme Brow Brow Gel. I can't tell you the exact name for it because I kind of wore mine off. I did get mine in the shade 2, which going back in time, if I had to buy this again, I would never get shade 2 because it is very warm tone. And I am not opposed to a warm tone brow. I have certain products that I use when I want a warm tone brow. But this is not one that I like for that. So, unfortunately, this is going to be leaving my collection because I do not like the tone of this. I do like how it deposits color and I like the brush on here. And I do like how, I just like how it works, essentially. But the tone is just a no for me. So, I think I need the shade 4 from Benefit to make me happy. So, maybe if I want to get one of these in the future, I'll pick that one up. But this one is going to be moving out from my collection. Next, guys, we're ready to move into eyes, and boy, do I have some fun things to show you today. So we're going to go ahead and start with the ABH Norvina palette, and I have used this on my Instagram and Reddit posts quite a bit this month because I have just thoroughly enjoyed using this. It's been quite a while since I've dipped into this, so I was really excited to create some looks this month, and I did get a lot of use out of it. So today what we're going to do is we're just going to use this for the base foundation of the shade because I do have a single eyeshadow that we're going to put on top of it. So I think I'm just going to use the shade called Soul today and put this into my crease. If you guys have the Norvina palette in your collection, you guys gotta bust it out because it is so pretty, so easy to use. I love the formula of it, and I've gotten some pretty unique looks out of it. I know it seems pretty one-noted, but it's really not. There's some really unique colors in here, and you can do a lot with it, actually. So this baby's staying with me for the long haul. I've had so much fun with it. So for the single shadow, I have one of these Kosas 10-second eyeshadows, and this is the original formula, aka the good formula. I know they've since reformulated these, and people don't like them so much anymore, but this one is super good. So what you have to do with these is shake them up really, really well. And by the way, I got mine in the shade called Copper Halo. So all you do is shake it up, like I said, then you take this doe foot, and you just apply it wherever you want some of this shadow. Feels kind of cold going on because I don't know why, but it just does. And you're going to want to go ahead and blend this out just with a brush or with your finger even before it dries. And it just simply looks beautiful. So I haven't played with this since before this month. So I just recently got acquainted with this formula, and I'm sad that they no longer have it because, you know, had they offered more shades, I would definitely have bought them because I have fallen in love with this thing. So I will be keeping this in my singles collection. Now for eyeliner, we're going to be using one from a brand called Beauty For Real, and this is in the shade called Olive. So I guess it doesn't really go well with what we have going on in our eyes, but we're going to use it anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and warm this up on my hand. So here's the color that we're going to be using. It's a very beautiful green tone. So I'm just going to put this into my waterline. And I don't think there's anything wrong with this pencil at all. I've actually really enjoyed using it this month, and I thought it worked well for my waterline, my tight line, and my upper lash line. I thought it was pretty great. So yeah, this earned its stay in my eyeliner collection. So lastly for the eyes, this is my most surprising product of the month from Jasmine Beauty. This is their Luxe Lash Volumizing Mascara. I've used the crap out of this mascara this month because I have just loved it. It's a very dry formula, so it's not going to last you forever. So you're going to have to replenish it quite frequently. But I love a long, fluffy looking lash, and this gives you that. And it builds up perfectly in 2 solid coats, so you don't have to keep building it up like 6 times or anything. You don't have to mix it with any other mascaras. I just love the way it looks. It's nice and pitch black, and the best thing about it is it's a tubing formula, so it comes off so easily. It doesn't say anywhere on the packaging that it's a tubing formula, so it's just something that I happened to discover since using this, but I am so excited about this, and I've used this on no makeup days where I didn't put on any complexion products or anything and just put on a little mascara and a little lip gloss. And I think it looks beautiful whichever way you want to use it. So normally I would just do a base layer like that and get them all fluffy, let it dry, and then I would go in with the second layer and just kind of make my outer corners look more bold and kind of layer up the little tubes on the tips of my lashes. So in my opinion, this is a keeper, and I'm so excited to have found this brand. So lastly, we're going to go ahead and play with 3 different lip colors. The first one I'm going to put on for you is a Bare Minerals liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade So Fine. Alright, so here's the Bare Minerals one on me. I've worn this a couple times this month, and every time I wore this one, I just didn't get the vibe from this. I just really don't like this one. It's just really not what I'm feeling lately, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one and pass along to somebody who's going to get use out of it before it goes bad. Now this color is from Maybelline, and this is their ink crayons, and this is the one that I wore the most throughout the month. I just find it so easy to wear, and it's very comfortable, and it lasts all day long. There's so many shades to select from, and I'm sad that I only have one of them, so I'm definitely going to pick up some more shades going into the future. One of my favorite parts about this is on the back, it has a sharpener, so you can keep the tip of this really sharp so you can line your lips very precisely and then continue to fill them in, and I just think that's a really, really cool feature of this. And the last color is from Peri Para, and this is the Ink Mood Matte Lip Color. And this is so comfortable on the lips, even more comfortable than the Maybelline Lip Crayon. And this feels like one of those silicone formulas that completely fill in your lip lines, and then if you blot it away, you just have that beautiful stain all day long. If you've ever tried the beautiful Kaleidos lip formulas, this feels very similar to that. And one thing I really like about this is the very unique applicator, so you can get right into those lip lines and go ahead and fill it in with the same thing. Alright guys, so here's our finalized look after all is said and done. A little mismatched today, but not so bad as usual. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. And if you did, please give me a giant thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, just click that dislike button. And until next time, bye!